Just you don't know how to smile, then you smile. Okay.
We're warming up, and our fingers were moving the whole time while waiting. I was cleaning my glasses.
Waggling.
Yeah, so starting preamble. If you're watching, this is a recorded live stream. So if you're watching right now, we'll start in a few minutes. Feel free to wait until we start the show as we manually reshare the link. Oh, audio check. Test one,
Yep.
two. Okay, it's moving. If
I
you're
switched
watching in
to.
the future, then you're watching the recorded live stream. Feel free to jump forward or just watch and wait till we start the show. Okay, it's on YouTube. Sharing now to Twitter.
I am tagging you as well.
And then on Facebook.
Yep, I'm tweeting.
I don't see it on Facebook yet.
But that's funny. I tagged you.
Yeah, waiting for it to appear. There. Okay, I see it now. Resharing now on our mailing list. Also, if you're watching the show right now, we can't tell, so please feel free to send us a comment so we know you're there. So annoying. So I
What?
typed Baduy to look for the Baduy Pride group chat. It shows all the other Baduy Pride chats.
Our guest Baduy chats. Yeah, that makes sense.
Facebook doesn't like our mailing list system.
It's not super official, but it works well enough for people who might want to.
Yeah, there. Okay,
Z.
sent the link out. And then one last, which is to share on my stream. I am in definite need of a haircut and a beard trim.
We can settle that before the weekend,
Yeah,
which means tonight.
maybe tomorrow night. We still have to catch up on stuff tonight.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I had a long day. I was still working. I was still working until 8.
Mhm.
Hello, Pico. I want to say Julius, but you're always going to be Pico in my head. Blame PG for M. Hey, I have work too. Toby does not. But he set up two different tabletop role playing game sessions. So he's practically working because he's running both sessions.
Mhm.
I think your opening session will start earlier than my work day.
Yeah.
Like my first meeting's at 10.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way I could run it for people who are outside the country also.
Yeah, because you have the challenge of needing to run games for people outside the country.
Mhm.
It's a you don't realize it's a bit of a flex too. It's a good thing.
Mhm.
International. I'm now I'm jealous. I want to clean my glasses away. So, in other news, before we start, is like we're almost done with Coffee Prince. we're down to we're down to one more episode, which we will watch sometime tomorrow
Mhm.
after I finish work.
Yeah, so it looks nice on our main screen, but on the stream I look burnt out
Hmm.
because the sharpness is gone. Then now we look dark here, but I guess it's more balanced here to some degree. Yes, we are also happy to call you Pico. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for thanks for sharing, Pico. So yeah, the usual. Please like, share, help get more people to watch. Even though today's topic's kind of random. In this random in the sense of scope, like it's gonna be an anything goes. Ooh, look at this, Toby.
Mm. Mm-mm.
We're looking at the latest Kickstarter update for Castles of Mad King Ludwig, but it's like supersized edition. Although I didn't get the giant tiles
Mm-mm.
because that's too much. We have enough storage challenges as it is. Okay, I guess we can roll credits and then just get this started. So let me put this away and we'll be right back.
Oh yeah! Really great!
This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It's completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. So it's a Thursday, which we tend to fill in with anything we could think of. In this case, it was literally anything we could think of in a advanced attempt to celebrate, remember, commemorate the upcoming EDSA Revolution anniversary. Um, we decided to have a bunch of two episodes that were in their own ways revolution inspired. Well, revolution inspired for the first one, which was yesterday's game
The other
related
day,
topic.
not yesterday.
The other day, and today we're focusing on yellow.
Yeah, but it's not a political episode. So we're just going to talk about the color yellow
Mhm.
for whatever it could mean. And it's been a while, Toby. Do we have a definition?
Let's go to Wikipedia. Yellow is the color between green and orange on the spectrum of visible light. It is evoked by light with a dominant wavelength of roughly 575 to 585. I'm not sure what this is.
NM?
Yeah. Nanometers. Oh, I was thinking it was nanometers, but I was
Hmm.
thinking, why is it nanometers? With the length of the wavelength, I guess. It is the primary color in subtractive color systems used in painting or color printing. In the RGB's color model, it's used to create colors on television and computer screens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yellow is the secondary color made by combining red and green at equal intensity.
Oh,
And this is
okay.
one of the things that really freaks people out, that
Light behaves
light
differently.
is different from paints.
Yeah.
So, like when you mix pigments, the colors that appear are different from when you mix light.
Mm.
And then yellow carotenoids give the characteristic yellow color on autumn leaves, corn, canaries, daffodils, and lemons, as well as egg yolks, buttercups, and bananas.
Hey, Mitch.
Sunlight has a slightly yellowish hue when the sun is near the horizon due to atmospheric scattering of shorter wavelengths. And this is why many shows and movies really exaggerate the light filters when they want to try to emphasize certain locations. Because there
Mm.
really is a certain difference when you look at places based on where they are in Earth.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because it was widely available, yellow ochre pigment was one of the first colors used in art. Um, the Lascaux, was that how you say that? Lascaux cave in France has a painting of a yellow horse 17,000 years old. And then such pigments were used to represent gold and the skin color in Egyptian tombs and in the murals of Roman villas. In early church, yellow was a color associated with the Pope and the golden keys of the kingdom. But it's also associated with Judas and is used to mark heretics.
That's a bit of a contrast.
Yes. And so on and so forth. So I guess we'll jump to this one. Yellow also is often associated with amusement, gentleness, humor, happiness, spontaneity, like, the smiley emojis. But then it's also used to represent duplicity, envy, jealousy, and in the United States, they stress the United States, cowardice.
I wonder why they had to emphasize it that way.
I shall look that up.
Okay.
In China and many Asian countries, it is seen as the color of happiness, glory, harmony, and wisdom.
Okay.
And in Iran, it is seen as the color of sickness.
Very different meanings. Julia says yellow mangoes, but is it really yellow in our eyes?
Well, it depends on the mango. Because like Philippine mangoes, then there's Indian mangoes, which are very prevalent, which many of us are used to. We grew up with Indian mangoes, and we have trees that have Indian mangoes. So it's kind of tricky sometimes.
And Mitch, of course, is singing Coldplay.
And then saffron.
That's different. Isn't saffron closer to gold?
Yeah, but saffron, the word yellow saffron is from the Old English. I guess that's
Yellow,
Yol, meaning yellow and yellowish, from the Proto-Germanic word. Okay, you say that because you've been learning.
Yelvas.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, so when you think yellow, what's the first thing you think of?
Blinding. It's just very bright. It's just very bright. I think sun, I guess.
Not Big Bird.
I don't specifically think of Big Bird because I think of yellow. But if you were to ask me, like, which characters I think of that are yellow, then I
Mm.
might say Big Bird.
So sun is the first thing you think of when you are asked to think of something yellow.
Yes.
Mitch seems to agree. Sun as
What
well.
do you think of?
Yellow. I guess mangoes. Because I like them when they're green. And then when I see they're yellow.
I was gonna ask, like, but do you see them in a pie, or do you see them as a fruit?
Lemons though are weird.
Because
Because you know that old statement, when life gives you lemons,
you make lemonade.
but life didn't give us lemons. We created lemons.
Mm.
So we created our own problems. Isn't that such a moment of wisdom? Julia shares yellow laurel wreath as well. Sometimes it's actually gold, but it's not the first thing I think.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Do you remember the first time you encountered the idea that yellow equals cowardice?
Oh, that was like much later on. That was
Mm.
much later on. I mean, that was a media thing, but definitely not early childhood.
Yeah, I don't also recall the reference being. I mean, I think for Filipinos, yellow was more. Sorry, cowardice is more duwag or takot or there's a lot of references to either church or sexuality.
I guess it'll trace back to whichever pirate thing I may have watched, because then you yellow bellied.
Yeah, actually, that's
Yellow
one of the
liver,
early terms I
whatever,
remember
right,
as well.
right.
Which means it was most likely Peter Pan.
I don't think they were that coarse. It may have been like Pirates of Dark Water. I don't know.
Or I'm thinking Peter Pan because I'm actually referencing the Vegas show, the Treasure Island, or the Pirates of the Caribbean show, something like that.
Why Vegas?
Because remember Vegas did have that street show with the pirates.
I'm sorry, I didn't go to Vegas a lot. I've only been to Las Vegas airport because it was a transit stop on my way to Texas.
As a kid, though, I was confused why we were calling ice yellow. Kasi yellow, yung term for Filipino for ice. And
Yes.
and that puzzled me because I was thinking, why is it the same word as the color?
Oh, I didn't learn about the translation until later in my childhood, but I just understood that everything confused me about Filipino. I grew up with an ESL, English as a first language, not the second language. English was my first language. So,
Mitch
Mitch mentions UST, of course, school
Uh,
colors, and then
also mentions yellow in French is jaune, which I guess from jaundice.
and then Pico says it's really either mangoes or berries. What are yellow berries?
Oh, is
Pico,
that aratilis?
yeah, what's a yellow berry?
When aratilis is overripe, it becomes yellow. But it's normally, it starts out greenish purple, then it becomes red when it's ripe to eat. But then you have to be careful because maraming higad in tree or antique.
I do not eat I have not eaten aratilis consciously, nor have I approached the tree.
We had a tree beside us, beside the house, where the office is now. That
Yeah.
used to be a garage, and
Yeah.
then there was a tree there. So I used to climb it, and grab a ratilis, and then I'd climb down, and I'm covered with higad. And,
Oh my god, that's kind of scary.
Julius shares, it's also known as golden berries. I saw some in the province.
Doesn't think it's Aratilis.
Yeah, ratilis is usually red. So I wonder what your
What is your yellow berry?
province, PH, yellow berries. I want to find what that is. Is this it? I think this is it.
But isn't that no? Pongkan. That looks like Lanzones now when you zoomed in the photo.
Yeah, that seems to be Lazones, but I think it's the
Pico,
other picture.
explain what are these yellow berries you're talking about?
Here, the Berba fruit.
Click.
They look like yellow cherries. Yeah, I think this is it.
What are those?
The tree bears small round fruits that turn yellow or tangerine when ripe. The Berba fruit. It doesn't grow tall, has dark green leaves. The seed inside
that
is
what it is,
totally
Pico?
coated by a pulp that is sweet and sour at the same time.
Berba. Berba.
Okay. Do you? I always found yellow flowers to be odd.
Why?
I mean, not now, but I mean as a kid,
But sunflowers.
because I was used to santan,
Okay.
so that's the white or the yellows,
Yeah.
and then
Or the red.
white, yellow, or white or red, and then occasionally orange, not yellow.
Because they intermingled.
And then you'd have gumamela, which is the bright pink, right?
Okay.
And then you'd have birds of paradise, you'd have all these other plants.
Okay.
So when I'd see yellow flowers like tulips and stuff, I'm sobrang, oh my god, it's like from another country. Because I was like thinking they're so weird. They so stand out.
That's odd. Okay, well, okay, I'm because and if you've seen how I get flowers from my mom,
Mhm.
we for ever since we figured out how to order flowers over the telephone,
Mhm.
we've gotten her spring bouquets,
Mhm.
and so it always has yellow flowers.
Mm.
I mean, of some kind. So I don't know. I don't dissociate. Then there's sunflowers, but I would never give sunflowers as like a bouquet because it's just a lot of mess in the middle.
Okay. Sunflowers are freaky
Because
because they just look like the eyes of flies staring at you.
see, this is Toby logic for you.
And then it freaked me out that the sunflower seeds that you eat are from the flower.
Yes, because
I just didn't connect that.
so I was thinking about before the episode. I was trying to think of like other things about yellow. So in 80s cartoons,
Mm.
or at least especially in Transformers, there was some degree of color coding. Like, if you're a bad guy, you're most likely purple and variations of
Yes.
purple.
Yes.
And then if you were a good guy, you got the nice bold primaries,
Yes.
red and blue. But there were still like some yellow. But then when I think about it, it wasn't super prominent. But I mean, you have Bumblebee and Sunstreaker,
Mhm.
and then parts of Omega Supreme.
Mhm.
But then I don't know. And then like
Because yellow was usually a highlight. It was rarely a color on its own.
that's true because it gets overwhelming.
And then even the adage again of cowardice being a U.S. connotation to yellow, Bumblebee wasn't necessarily the brave one until a much later incarnation, I would presume.
Mm.
Many yellow robots were more, if not highlights, it was a replacement for gold. Because yellow was the quickest way to make gold in a
Like,
cartoon.
oh my god, wasn't it the Mighty Orbots? Someone was yellow.
Mhm. Let's load it real quick.
Oh, yeah. There, one arm was yellow.
Yeah.
One arm was yellow in the Mighty Orbots. Okay. Pico adds, in some games, yellow typically represents earth element, but that's also brown.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's Boo and Mighty Orba.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay,
then-
and then you think about predominantly yellow characters, because like you can't even do Chitara because she was more orange.
Mm.
But I think it's more recently that we got properly yellow characters. Whether it's okay, let's talk about the Simpsons for a moment. The Simpsons is a bunch of people who are yellow.
Mhm.
Do you think that was a good idea?
I didn't find it weird only because I was used to cartoons being weird. Come on, Ernie and Bert and Big Bird. Um, we've had a host of characters whose skin tones didn't necessarily meet. Thank you, Sesame Street, for telling us that skin color shouldn't matter.
Yes.
So when Simpsons came out, I didn't mind they were yellow, but I was very freaked out because I couldn't make sense what was happening to Bart's head.
Because
Because The Simpsons has concepts of hair,
yes.
so Bart's head is not hair.
No, it's hair.
Well, officially it shouldn't be because it's drawn as yellow, so it's a
It's-
skin condition.
It's yellow hair. Because they've shown it cut
Yeah,
down, which
yeah,
is like
yeah.
weird.
But in the first few times, there was that. But there's, huh?
And then, but Lisa also had the
Exactly.
spikes.
So there
Okay.
was that weird thing of maybe they're starfish people.
These are the things Toby thinks of. Starfish people.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to realize that it's because I'm not just coming from the early cartoons. I'm coming from 80s cartoons, and that includes Care Bears. That includes Rainbow Bright and the like, and a lot of them were very color coded characters. But
Literally color coded.
you could distinctly tell the difference between their color and, let's say, their hair or their outfits. Simpsons was one of the first few, at least for me, that just jumped into, the art blends just as shapes and it makes the character, which became later on much more common in Cartoon Network and the like, right?
Yes.
But a lot of the other Cartoon Network characters and the like still had separate hair, still had separate elements.
So this is the hill you're gonna die on.
Even monsters, what was that again? Ugly monsters.
Real monsters.
Real monsters. They're holding their eyes and stuff, but you could see hair separate. You could see the skin tone.
I like how our standards of anatomy, we go back to real monsters. Thank
because
you.
it makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, as a kid, it was already hard to accept that Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse were running around half naked, and that was supposed to be normal because
Yes.
they're animals with clothes.
Yeah.
But then you'll see scenes where they take off their clothes and they're shy, and you're like, "But you're normally running around without that."
You crazy. Okay. Okay. Then I was looking at that because you've been skimming through
Mm.
cartoon characters. Question. X-Men yellow costumes. What about that?
I didn't mind
Really?
the yellow and black costumes.
Or but even just weren't the original? Oh, they were black, but original navy blue. The very first,
Yeah, I think there was
the
blue.
very first X-Men cartoons.
Yeah. So there was the black and blue and black, blue, and yellow. Black normally for shadows.
Yes.
I didn't mind them because I liked how it felt like a uniform. It felt
Mm.
almost military without necessarily being military.
It was such an interesting decision, pan. I mean, like they were predominantly. I mean, like you said, yellow does tend to be an accent color. We've seen many a character that had yellow elements in a costume, but then they were really like all over yellow.
And I guess what I liked about it was having gotten used to Defenders of the Earth, Justice League, where everyone looks different. Even Legion of Superheroes, everyone looks different.
Mm-mm.
Suddenly you have X-Men. Look, we're in a uniform.
We're really a team.
So yeah, there was that. Oh, this is
although
interesting.
although Fantastic Four did it first in the Marvel
they're
lineup,
family, they don't count.
and
They
the
have to be a
X-Men
team.
are
They
not a
can't
family.
choose.
Wow. Wow.
There was black and blue X-Men. I think the closest thing to the black and blue X-Men was their leather saga, when they were all in,
Post movie costumes that went into the comics.
when they were all in blue with black line art and zipatone to give it shiny effect. Storm being one of the most prominent ones who only had a yellow belt.
Oh yeah, her classic '90s outfit,
Mm.
which was in the comic. Yeah, she just had yellow. But then no, that really like it became kind of part of the identity, at least in terms of theme colors, that they have to be partly yellow somehow.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Sorry, I said anything about DC, like prominent yellow characters. Remember the first one you think of is like Professor Zoom, the Reverse
Yeah.
Flash.
Because that was the way they made it work, right? It was red uniform with yellow highlights. So of course, Reverse Flash would be yellow uniform with red highlights. But then you have a bunch of others. Booster Gold was one of the prominent heroes who had a yellow outfit. Dr. Fate was another one with a very prominent yellow slash golden outfit. It wasn't until much later the Sinestro Corps would appear, wherein yellow is now a team because before it was just Sinestro, and the reason he wore yellow was because Green Lantern couldn't affect him.
Before.
Now it's because it's a color.
Oh my
figure.
god, then they're skimming through. Then yeah, yellow was often contrasted with green.
Yes.
But it was used by both good guys and bad guys. On the Marvel front, you have Vision, who was it's predominantly green. Iron Fist, who is there?
Mhm. Loki.
Loki, Electro
Mhm.
on the villain side.
Jean Grey, original costume.
The Jean
and then
Grey
let's not
costume.
forget Banshee.
Banshee also, and by that effect, Siren.
Mhm.
Both had the green. Isn't it funny? It's funny, but yeah, yellow is like omnipresent. Okay, before we unpack Green Lantern, maybe we should. I want to. I want to segue first older and like, um, the use, the depictions of yellow in Sentai shows, where
Okay.
there is almost always a Yellow Ranger.
So there's always the Yellow Ranger, but then let's also note that there's also always the yellow guy in non-Sentai. So like Voltes 5, Voltron, and the like. Typically, the yellow character is the tank, is the big guy, is the somewhat heart of the team.
Although bordering on orange in some cases.
Mm.
But then it's like in the later Sentai editions, it became coded that the yellow rangers are the female part, typically female,
Mm.
right? There's because it's yellow and pink and variations thereof. Red is always leader.
Yeah.
And then we swap in and out different colors: green, black, blue, and the like. But yeah, yellow as the girl. Is there a guy Yellow Ranger? I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe in the earlier Sentai, because of course we're using Power Rangers as our primary base, but it's like, um, of course it's like only going Power. Oh, there was a guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
think the original was a guy, and then of course in Power Rangers they made it a woman.
Yeah, because in Power Rangers all your spandex
See
is
there,
like
Yellow
super
Ranger was originally a man.
Okay.
Then the
okay.
reboot had it become a woman.
So they only had the Pink Ranger as a girl, which was like distinctly the only one with a skirt.
Mm.
So Trini in the show did not have a skirt.
Mhm.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm satisfied. All right.
And then yellow was always a prominent color as well when it came to energy forms. Do you remember if anyone ever had a yellow lightsaber?
No, it wasn't one of the more prominent lightsaber colors. I have to check.
Yeah.
It looks more expanded universe type. And then they argue that Ray's lightsaber was yellow,
Mm.
but I can't think about it now. Okay. Um, what else? what else you want to talk about for yellow people?
So let's discuss some of the other characters that come into mind when it's yellow. SpongeBob, never got into it,
Never quite got into SpongeBob either. I don't know.
and was one of the more prominent yellow characters. Charlie Brown, who was in a yellow shirt. Part of me was
Okay.
confused that he'd be called Charlie Brown
But he was in yellow.
because
Whereas
we're,
everybody was so literal.
because we're trained, right? That when we see a character and we see,
Okay, to be
Uh,
fair, there are very few Charlie Brown characters with descriptive names.
no, but in terms of shows in general, when you hear a name, they tend to be describing the person. Pippi Longstockings has long stockings, right?
I like how we just pulled Pippi Longstockings out of
Rainbow
nowhere.
Bright.
Do you know who Pippi Longstockings is?
Rainbow Bright is wearing rainbow colors.
Yes.
Big Bird is a big bird. And anyway, that's the point.
Oh, indeed
So,
he is.
so when you hear someone named Charlie Brown, you'd think he has something that's brown because that's in the name. So it was confusing for me. Black Cat isn't wearing white. The Blue Beetle isn't green.
Of course, Julius mentions Tweety. Yes. Oh, Mitch also mentioned Woodstock. The yellow bird syndrome. Like, I get it because there are yellow birds. That's fine.
There was a time I was mixing Tweety and Roadrunner.
Why?
Because they tend to have the same stories. So I thought Roadrunner was Tweety grown up. Wherein they're always being chased by some cat figure and then they'll always get away by being smart.
Roadrunner's being chased by Wily Coyote.
I know.
Coyote is not cat-like.
But again, it's names I don't remember. All I remember is, oh, look, it's a furry thing chasing the furry thing.
Why? Why?
But did you know that the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote series had a very strict style Bible?
In what sense?
That gravity would almost always be his downfall.
For Wily Coyote.
That Roadrunner would never directly hurt Coyote.
Yes.
And that Coyote's failures were always self-inflicted.
Okay, I see that.
These
I
are
see
like
that.
style Bibles that if anyone were ever to write anything, they should follow it. And yes, the delay in the gravity effect was part of the style Bible.
Mm.
That things should only affect them when they notice it.
Yes, when you realize it. That's rule number 1 in Warner Brothers cartoons.
Mm.
Jeanette's here. Hello, and she
Hey,
mentions
Jeanette.
the little girl in the raincoat from Little Nightmares. Let's
Oh,
talk about children
that's a
in
big
yellow raincoats.
Okay.
That's kind of iconic. Because and then recently the It movie also used that imagery. Kids in raincoat.
So yellow raincoats popular usage. We have Coraline.
That's true. She also did her yellow raincoat.
Yeah, we
moment.
have Little Nightmares. We have It. Georgie wears a yellow raincoat.
Yes.
We have this is anime. So Wonder Egg Priority.
I don't know what that is, but
Ai
that's
Hoto wears
interesting.
a yellow attired. It's a yellow what you call this hoodie. Uh, but yeah, so let's talk about the history of yellow raincoats. Uh, Travel back to early Scotland, where fishing was the most influence in the earliest beginnings of the sport. The accidental yellow rainwear was first used by Scottish fishermen to increase their visibility in the dark.
Yeah, because yellow is their color of hazards.
So by wearing yellow, a color that can be used to highlight, it truly helps you spot in the gloomy setting. So that's what's written.
So why does it keep using horror?
Because it signals fear as far as again film philosophy or language is concerned. Yellow feels unnatural. That's why it's perfect to use with eyes and teeth. You just feel it's not white, it's yellow.
Mm.
But then it's not effective beyond that much. So like if you have someone that's all yellow, it doesn't feel as scary. If you have, you know, that's where the red still kicks in as more interesting.
Okay, the village.
The village.
Are you gonna keep throwing things, Toby?
Yeah. Well, that's for hoods, right? So we're not gonna count Kill Bill or Bruce Lee in their yellow outfits. We're just focusing on raincoats and hoodies.
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking about wrinkle. I'm just talking about color yellow.
Yeah,
I went to the village because yellow is the safe color, right? In the village.
because they bury the red color. See, we're spoiling it. Right?
So what do you think the meaning there is? Why was yellow the safe color? You think it's just the visual language
Well,
aspect of things?
okay, spoiling the village. Shark's too far. Spoiling the village. Spoiler shark. Spoiler shark. So the village is actually a social experiment, right? Wherein
Yes.
you have a small contained society of people who think they're in the past, but they're actually in the present day in this close environment.
Isolated from
Yeah.
modern life.
So yellow is the safe color because when they're wearing yellow, you can track them.
You think that's the only reason?
Yeah, you can see where they are in the woods. So you know if they're coming, you can move the truck away. You can.
Mm, I guess that makes sense.
It forces them to be compliant. So by doing that, it's not that different from traditions or pamihiin like um, you're not supposed to wear dark and ganyan ganyan, but it's because it makes you a bigger target in the street or stuff like that.
So violent. Okay, okay. Mitch is like, what is the village? Mitch!
The Village is an M Night Shyamalan movie that you will probably enjoy, and even if we spoiled it, you'll be ay ang galing. It's interesting.
But yeah, we did an episode all about M Night movies. So the village was one of the early ones, but it was also one of the earliest divisive ones.
Yeah.
Like people either really liked it or really didn't like it.
Of course, Jeanette mentions, is that why we have the Ling in yellow, which I presume is the King in yellow?
Yeah.
So that is related to the Carcosan stories and um, oh my gosh, my names are gone. Um, But yeah, the Pallid King, it's not a mask; it's his face, and all this and that, which officially is not,
It's random lines.
which is officially not Lovecraftian. It's one of the extensions that came out after.
Yeah.
Um, so it's fan fiction of Lovecraft
I don't know why the mention of fan fiction gets you so excited
because
now.
it's my new thing, right? It used to be the algorithm or let's let's not forget the bird in Snoopy.
We already mentioned Woodstock together with Tweety.
Yeah, but Woodstock, I always felt he was evil.
Because he's smart.
And he's not just smart, he's masungit smart. He's
Yeah. Because, it's just he's this tiny person in this world of giants.
he's like the Filipino in the Snoopy universe.
And
Kasi
then-
siya yung buti ka sa'yo. Yung kasi tanga mo. Yung-
And then he can't fly straight. And it's like, yeah, everything not going for him. And then there were multiple birds in his ilk.
Mhm.
And then they were all just terrible.
What about Pac-Man?
That cartoon was weird. I tried to get into it as a kid. It didn't work out well. And then video game wise, I mean, it was striking. There's a
Jeanette shares, Woodstock is a wise ass, pati na rin yung silbing
Right?
cousins niya.
very very angry, and it's that trope of
Yes, Julius, that's the film.
small people,
Mm.
small characters being annoyed because they're so much smaller, and then everything more difficult. Okay,
Um,
but yeah, Pac-Man. Okay, yeah.
So Pac-Man was weird because do you remember the commercials when they had a live action thing running around eating things?
I don't think I saw those.
It was like this city street, which was it was like still a set and stuff, but it was real people in costumes, and then they release orbs, and then you have this realistic Pac-Man chomping things.
Oh my!
So it was like parang,
I want to see that.
it's really old. Yeah, I'll see if you can find it. Look for the old live action Pac-Man cartoon commercial.
Okay, I'm searching. I'm just looking at images muna, but no. It's all newer ones.
Yeah, but it was something similar to this. But this one's different. This is the one in the coat. Okay. I feel Pac-Man has left us a collective level of, I don't know, thing about chompy yellow things, and that's why the Minions is popular.
Pac-Man does not make me think Minions.
No, the Minions are like the pellets that Pac-Man's eating.
How is this analogy continuing on? I don't know what you're
I
trying
don't know,
to do.
that's how my brain works.
Can't we just appreciate the Minions being yellow on their own? And I don't know, they're all shaped like pills for some reason.
The yellow M&M was kind of sad.
Okay, now we're okay. Because why is the yellow M&M sad?
Most of my friends would go for the red and green. And then some would just get the black because they prefer it's chocolate. Because people did have that. Did you believe that the color of the M&Ms affected the flavor?
No.
Many friends did. In fact, many would fight over the green one because it's so rare.
Because only Skittles made sense in that manner.
And then everyone hated yellow because yellow meant peanut. And yellow meant less chocolate.
Oh, I mean the bag yellow. Okay, the yellow M&M. Okay, not realizing like because of the added nuts, it like made it more expensive. Things. Okay. Okay. Of course, I always be like thinking that was this arguing over M&M flavors. That's just weird. I just eat them in pairs. I used to always having one M&M per side of molars.
You melt them until the color is gone.
No, I bite.
Well, that's the fun part. You keep them there, and then when you spit them out, oop, it's white na. It's an egg.
Okay, I
and
don't
then-
typically spit out my M&Ms.
But do you bite them in half and then combine the two different ones, like gummy bears?
No.
My nose is so itchy again. Jeanette asks, umabot ba yung Pac-Man cereal here in the Philippines? I believe umabot.
I mean, probably at the very least through PX. PX.
And there was that surge of different cereals. But in PX Goods, everything from Lucky Charms to...
yeah, but that was in the special category of kind of commercial branded or franchise tie-up cereals. But yeah, I don't actively remember. Well, at the very least, we never bought it.
Mhm.
I mean, I was a Frosted Flakes guy, very classic. Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops. Okay. I've been dancing around not mentioning. Okay, Pikachu is prominently yellow, and then that's it. That's the story. I don't agree that Jake the dog is appearing in these lists a lot. He's still more orange to me.
Same with Pluto.
Yes.
Same with Simba.
Yes.
Um, but we would still like to give a hello to Winnie the Pooh.
He's also quite orangey though.
The tummy
Color
dance.
of the honey.
It has that tummy dance.
You just you just like the notion of someone walking around without pants
And eating honey.
and eating honey.
It's not just
the
it's a big
the
back.
physics of Winnie the Pooh manipulating any object was fascinating because he was really with these stupid bumpy arms.
Um, okay, Bowser,
I don't agree with this quite.
the villain in Mario.
Okay,
It was interesting that he was predominantly yellow, and despite having an orange green shell.
but yeah, because he started as a sprite that
Mhm.
was like ridiculously tiny.
And I
Ah,
sort of remember the sprite being more green.
because you can mostly see the shell because
Yeah.
he's hunched over and he's on in profile and then he just like jumps. Okay, Mitch asked, "Do you remember Mr. Bogus?" Oh my God, I wish I didn't remember Mr. Bogus.
I don't know who Mr. Bug is.
Mr. Bogus. It was one of the weird late 80s, early 90s cartoons. And it was like, why the hell is this a cartoon?
I'm checking. I'm checking. I don't know, Mr. Bogus.
You're lucky you don't. I'll make you listen to the theme song just to punish you. Um, it was weird. I don't know. It was like pseudo troll character.
Yeah, he does look like a troll who lost his hair.
Yeah, it's like a troll without hair, and then he's just I don't know. See, Mr. Bogus. What's his premise? I can't remember what the premise was. Two distinct parts. One using mostly traditional cell-based animation, and another using what the show is based on, which are 42 localized versions of a 300 original clay animation shorts. Okay, that's probably why I gave it a chance. Clay animation, I'll always jump in. It was so stupid. I just remember it being very, very stupid. Very, very, very stupid. Okay. Um Jeanette's like Mr. Bogus, his face made me think that he was made of unhappy Play-Doh. I respect this.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so how come then maybe we can dabble back into color meaning. I mean, like we have such happy, bright associations, and then we have certain things.
Mhm.
I'm just fascinated by the madness connotation that we seem to associate with a lot of um, Lovecraftian or Lovecraftian derived stories. But then when we look at like official color meanings, madness is not often listed for yellow.
Mhm.
Why? Why is that? Is yellow the mad color? I don't have an answer. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think okay. I'm trying to look at the psychological aspects of yellow. So in terms of New Age spiritualism and the like, the yellow chakra, um, which is the solar plexus area, is the Manipura. Um, so it's the representation of vitality and will. It's supposed to be allowing you to turn your dreams into reality and this and that. Looking at others, yellow tends to be a prominent color when it comes to warning animals warning you that
Caution. Yes.
they're
Stay away.
poisonous or they're dangerous. Um, and then what else? That's
Oh, some point out it may just be more, not necessarily madness, but because of sickness.
mm-mm.
Because when you're yellow or jaundiced,
Yeah.
then you look sick. Then, yeah, caution and illness. So I guess that makes sense. And then it just got looped into other physical constraints,
I also wonder if it might be related to the things that can cause sickness and illness and the like.
like Tweety birds. Tweety's violent, can cause sickness, illness, physical malady, all these things.
I'm checking here if there's any other. Um,
You've wandered into Quora. Be careful.
yeah.
Okay. Um. So we've got a number of people watching. So then, like, who is who is your favorite character that you most associate with the color yellow, if there's such a thing? And then we were also trying to think of board games that we own that are yellow earlier this week
Hmm.
for our Tuesday discussion. And we ended up talking about Revolution because the only games that we have that are predominantly yellow are the resting game from Oink, Maskman, and then now Nine Tiles.
And
Not to be
then
confused with Nine Tiles Panic.
maybe Tashkalar, which
Yes,
some
it's kind
some
of
yellow orange
yellow,
cover.
tan, brown ish.
First Martians has some predominantly yellow covering. Through the Ages has a yellow box. But
Russian
generally,
Railroads has kind of yellow, light
yeah.
brown
But
tones.
generally, yellow doesn't matter as much in the game.
Yeah. Nothing is super prominently for yellow.
And then when you think of yellow things, so cheese is a common thing unless it's white, and the blue cheese if it's really blue.
I'd be worried if your blue cheese is yellow. Pico says Saitama One Punch Man. Okay, that's a good association for yellow because his costume is just ridiculously stupid, but it works even though it's like really hard to look at. Okay,
Steven Universe has given us yellow connections as well from the
Yellow Diamond. Okay,
And then there's
now you're looking at logos.
yeah,
Ooh.
food.
But you don't. But see, orange is the more commonly used color for food because of hunger and whatnot
Hmm.
connotations. But yeah, we're still left with a few. McDonald's technically are the
Golden.
golden
Yeah.
arches.
Subway has yellow on its logo.
I like how Snapchat is still there in that list. Ooh, National Geographic, the iconic National Geographic rectangle is a
Mhm.
yellow thing. Shell is red and yellow. IKEA is yellow and blue. Ha! And Dennis Ching is here and warns us to avoid the yellow snow. That's
Mm.
all right. We don't have snow here.
When did you learn about the Yellowstone?
Some movie. I mean, like obviously it was truly strictly through media. I have not experienced natural snow in person.
Other than the freezer.
unless or the snow thing at Star City that one year when they give you these stupid, really thin parkas
Mm.
to put on top of your clothes to help you. It was still so cold because you're walking around on blocks of ice and stuff.
Do you? I remember being so fascinated when I learned there were more than just yellow post-its.
Oh, really? I'm well. It wasn't that mind blowing for me. I was just amused that there were more colors. Why was it such a thing for you?
Because post-its were always yellow. So when others started to have different colors, it was like a wait.
But yeah, but typically they weren't even post-it brand
And then I remember
notes.
that transitionary period of using 1/4, 1/2, and one whole pad paper, and then
Mm.
eventually you use the yellow pad. And I was like, we've grown up.
Yellow pad, often referred to as legal pad. It was like, ooh.
We're adults now.
But also very impractical because it was so long. And then it was always like very thin paper
And then
stock.
because it was so long, you'd always have it slightly curved and curled up.
Yeah,
because
'cause the-
people
the-
can't store it properly.
Or like when you're writing on a table and then
Mm.
your body hunches over and then
Mm.
catches the edge of the page. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Yellow paper.
So bees, wasps, and hornets all have yellow to some degree.
Okay.
So
yes.
learning to differentiate them is by recognizing the shape of the body and the thickness of the band. Bees tend to be more capsule-like with a fat band. Wasps have the band in the other area. Hornets have multiple bands.
You put a lot of thought into this.
No, I'm just allergic to wasps. So I've learned to recognize if it's a wasp or a hornet.
Practical. Be aware of your potential allergy
Oh,
risks.
Dennis adds your analogy to post-its also for highlighters. Yes, I was so fascinated when I found out highlighters came in different colors. And back then, I used to make handmade comics. So, energy, green, blue.
I still felt the yellow highlighter was the superior highlighter for highlighting things. Because when you use pink, the pink kind of just blends in.
Sometimes it's too dark.
Especially if you're
Newsprint.
like, yeah, if it's like on
Mm.
risograph, ooh,
Mm.
Mimeo. What are these archaic terms? Okay. Um, yeah, then it could like be weird with the highlight. And then green, the neon green wasn't so bad. But yellow was like the consistently it'll work. So I like yellow highlights. But then I did have a tendency to highlight a lot.
Not the whole page.
No, I think I left out articles,
Mm.
but no, because and then my mom was the type, she would drill us for school. She would wake us up early
Mhm.
before the school bus arrived, and then she'll like have our, because we leave our books out the night before for her
Mm.
to prepare like what to review us on, and then she'll be really like, the blank of the blank is blank, and she's like reading from the beginning of the chapter of my
Mm.
textbook, and like who memorizes the textbook? Apparently, we should.
Mm.
So that was traumatizing. So then that influenced my highlighting behavior, where everything is important. So I would highlight many things. Pico mentioned Super Saiyan yellow hair. Oh yeah.
I never really got into
I
Dragon
never
Ball.
got to the Dragon Ball. Also, I
Ho-
only played the schoolyard game.
However, for those who are
Sorry.
fans of it, I know there's a new video game. Um,
There is
so
breakers. No.
yeah, I think it was Breakers, wherein you have one character chasing after all the Dragon Ball characters, and um, it's it's sort of like Dead by Daylight. So it's a 3D environment.
Okay.
You're playing the different characters, and you have the alien chasing after you guys. So you're running around trying to hide from him.
Oh.
So you have the different characters with their different powers and their different moves, and you can transforming and
Oh, and they're doing that weird you turn into objects thing.
so they're all hiding. And then,
Because isn't okay, have you seen those videos of like there are these games where you keep turning into
yeah,
props or something? I don't understand that
it's
this is a
it's a I
game.
think it's a which one or something is the name of the game or something like that, wherein you can transform into objects to hide,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
other player tries to find you. So it's that sort of gameplay for a
Oh,
Dragon Ball Z.
how strange. Not what I expected. Okay, so Dragon Ball the Breakers, in
Mm.
case you're curious. And just because you mentioned the hair. So are the Simpsons Super Saiyan forever?
That's a good point. Speaking of video games, though,
Okay.
um, so there was that conflict as a kid because Mario and other games tell you yellow is good, grab the star,
The
grab the power
coin.
up. But then there would be other games like Metroid and the stuff wherein yellow was still bad because they tend to be the traps of the enemy.
But then also then you get the Wario, who's like yellow and purple. Because somehow this is the inverse of red and blue.
Hmm.
Okay. What else can we talk about that's yellow, guys?
I'm trying to remember other predominantly yellow things in media. I kind of lost my. I had a page earlier, but I lost it.
Oh, okay. Alas.
Uh,
Suggestions, folks.
yeah.
What yellow things have we not brought up?
Okay, New York cabs, the distinct yellow color, and
Okay.
then that smart Philippine company that made yellow cab pizza.
I love that Yellow Cab is a local company. It
I
just
didn't
it
think it was a
it
local
just
company.
blows your mind. And then like even Singaporeans are like, what? And so when Yellow Cab goes to Singapore, it's this thing. Very smart naming. I kind of miss pizza. I
Mhm.
kind of miss Yellow Cab pizza in my keto life, but yeah, not bad, not bad. It wasn't the best pizza, but it was like really good. And then because everything else, like there was a certain quality that they sold with it,
Mm.
then and they thought the sizing that they presented was like quite nice. Okay. Okay.
And then I guess to wrap it up, so Belle's dress, which was fantastic in the cartoon.
You just want to shame the live action.
that live action
You just
dress.
want to
I
shame
don't.
the live action. I am not defending that dress.
We have to screen share. We have to screen share that dress. Search it first. Beauty and the Beast.
Live action Belle yellow dress.
And then find a comparison photo. There. That's a good comparison photo. Although the photo doesn't really show the difference.
Yeah,
It doesn't show the
wait.
detail.
Let's.
There. That's
Oh yeah, this frontal shot. Yeah. Okay.
I
Um,
struggle.
How do I do there? Share screen. Yeah.
I struggle to wrap my head around why that dress was approved for that movie.
It's just no, just so flat on TV.
And it's you'd think there'd be frills. You'd think there'd be lace. Given how it looked like it was glowing in the cartoon, you'd think they'd at least have gold threads or lighting that would make it pop. And then what you get, so that was a struggle to appreciate and find why that was okay. I don't understand that. Ah. So well, these aren't really iconic outfits. Beyonce with the lemonade outfit, that was kind of.
And then later on, Kimmy Schmidt and Titus Andromedon in the yellow outfit,
that was a prominent
referencing Brianna.
reference.
That was fun.
We're not really into fashion, so we can't really relate to the other dresses.
Yeah,
that
we're always
really,
going through a list really quickly.
Yeah, I'm just checking if there's anything that we overlooked.
Ah,
Yes,
Clueless. Okay. Her yellow plaid outfit,
That was a good outfit.
super awesome.
That was a
super
really
awesome.
good outfit. It stood out.
Oh, La La Land. Okay. Yeah.
And then yeah, I guess that's it.
Because of course it borders on gold for some people in
Yeah.
terms of like what yellow dresses are. All right. So yes, I think that is more or less a lot of our yellow discussion. We could not discuss Coldplay at length because that's only the one song, guys.
We could not discuss Beatles' Yellow Submarine because it's not really something we
You can just sing it. We all
could.
live in a yellow submarine.
It's probably the
Yellow
extent of what we
submarine.
know of that song.
Yellow submarine. We all live. That's all I got. Maybe
I
we get
know
posters.
there were a bunch of movies that have yellow in the title. There's a bunch of movies that use yellow merely as the title, Color Saga and the like.
Mm-hmm.
And then yellow eyes will always be evil, right?
Or at least supernatural.
It's either demonic or magic.
Or werewolf or vampire, right? Then you know, ooh, something's up because yellow. But again, it probably ties back to the coloring, to the
Sickness.
implication of sickness.
Mm.
Yes. So that's a cool thing.
But yeah, that dress. It's hard to forgive that dress.
We're not. I like how we're not into fashion, and then suddenly we're now in this whole dissing of the yellow outfit.
Because it was really sad.
It's an inadvertent fashion photo review.
I mean, of all the things to get wrong in the Beauty and the Beast live
It's like
action
it's the one thing they had to get right. I wish they had CGI'd the dress or something. Like, you know, CGI did to make it pop.
yeah,
even
it could
more.
have just enhanced it, right?
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
was the real dress, then fine. But maybe it had some shimmer that they added. But no. Fairy godmother needed, to rest. I guess she was stressed out or something.
Yeah, because it's in the wrong franchise.
She couldn't help.
She could not help because she was busy helping Cinderella. I don't know what how to help you there.
it's so sad.
Oh, Mitch mentions code yellow means a missing person, and then Amber is missing child. Oh yeah.
Mm.
And then Star Trek Yellow Alert was like, oh, we're like alert, but not dangerously so. Yellow alert just meant you raise shields,
Mm.
and get to a state of readiness, but you're not yet charging weapons, something like that.
And then to wrap off movies, in as much as there's the negative connotations, we cannot ignore the positive ones. We're in um, spiritual moment, the yellow sunlight, the
Mhm.
golden glow. The horror is over. We now have yellow beams, and
Which kind of trends on the golden side
yeah.
of things. I mean, like when you push to that side of yellow, then it's always like a happy halo, whatever, indicating that morning has broken.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess that pretty
Mhm.
much covers yellow, unless you want to go as far as candy snacks.
Oh, I think we're never gonna end there if we're gonna make you talk about snacks. So I guess not. All right. I keep remembering about things about like was this in early school days, and then like bring something yellow. Either bring something by color or bring something by
Mongol
taste.
pencil
Yeah, pencils.
was the yellow go-to thing.
It's like if you're super fancy, if you had lemons. And then I hated the day that it's like bring something sour, and then I brought calamansi, and then of course let's all eat it. Let's eat whatever you brought that's sour, and then like and then here I am now drinking
Hmm.
apple cider vinegar with calamansi every night. So what a
But
strange
did you
life this
notice
is.
how, for a time, sampalok was always wrapped in yellow cellophane?
I thought it was more orange, but it could be yellow and then it turns orange because the sampalok inside is kind of
Brown.
brown. Brown cow. Okay, okay. That's it. We're all yellowed out. All right,
Yeah.
that's today.
So I guess
Yeah.
in the end, yellow is still a prominent color, but
Works
will
better with others,
but will never be the primary color. Will never be the
even though it is literally a primary
yeah. But
color
I mean,
in terms of paint.
like you'll always have red. You'll always have blue as taking
Red,
taking stage.
red.
Because when you look at yellow, you kind of have to squeeze to find things that are yellow.
Or then it's always like it's good when you see something that's entirely bright yellow. It is jarring on the eyes.
Mm-mm.
It's which is why it's used for warnings and hazards because it's like ah. Okay, so I
Oh,
get.
then I guess to close that would be another M Night movie. Unbreakable, right? He was wearing a yellow
Yeah, she was
raincoat.
running in the other raincoat.
Glass was sad. I watched it. I wanted to enjoy it.
I'm so sorry. it felt it felt more approaching trying to be a conventional superhero movie, but
The
badly.
Shyamalan cinematic universe was very M Night Shyamalan.
But sadly later M Night,
Yeah,
not early Sham Night.
yeah. And Dennis asks, "Big Bird, Big Bird is a warning bird." Yes. How do you think he survives? What do you think he eats? And that's why he's best friends with Oscar the Grouch. Someone's gotta get rid of the bodies.
Okay, his best friend is Mr. Snuffleupagus.
That's the one who handles the bones.
Oh my god. Okay, that's our show.
That's our show. Thank you for watching.
For questions or suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride
Please
Ideas
send suggestions.
so that Toby stops thinking of talk of us like the color yellow. You can follow us on Twitter, all Toby No Shade, RG Sunico.
You can also check out our blog, baduypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us. There's no great yellow shark.
Why? Is there a great red shark? Is there a great purple shark?
I'll write that up.
No.
Sentai
Okay.
sharks! Sentai sharks!
Yeah, but you have to make it a comic. You have to draw your Sentai sharks.
That is a challenge accepted.
Be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Good night, everyone.
Sentai shark!